Greetings, this is Doc Ock coming at you live and direct today from Black Facts Headquarters Central here in Kent, Ohio, with another edition of Doc Ock at noon and 9. Well, we hope everybody has been having a good week. Our week is quickly coming to a close, and we hope y'all are still on your toes. As a matter of fact, this is the 7th day of the 10th month, and therefore we are still looking for a donation today. We ask for donations during the first week of every month, and we're not going to do anything any differently this month. So if you would please send a donation, you want to send it through Facebook. You can find our profile picture, click on the picture, and there'll be a link there for you to send a donation. You want to send it through YouTube, go to you're already on our live stream there. Just go right below to the description area. There's a link there to our webpage where you can make a donation over there, or you can go direct to the webpage, www.blakfacts.org. Now, let's go ahead and get on with some of our other business. We're reading poems this month from the first collection of student writings from the Black Student Writers Workshop, or the Black Writers Workshop at Kent State. And so we read one the other day from Althea Romeo, and we're going to write another one today. We're going to read another one today, and let's see if it tells us who it's written by. Well, that's odd. They tell us who they're written by in the front, but they don't tell us on each one. Wait a minute. Could that be? Okay, I see. So this is another one by Althea Romeo then. Caught my eye here. Oh, you know what? Let's do this one here. This one is a poem for Grandma. A poem for Grandma by Althea Romeo. Or Althea Romeo, either way. Grandma's alone in the front room she cannot see, but has seen for 90 years. Not wanting to see no more, no longer seeing tears, masked in gloom. She does not see her figure as a dark, dried prune sitting in a straight-backed chair, or so it appears to us, who watch her and her vacant, sightless eyes, not seeing the lies. She does not listen either to the news or views of it. She knows, and we cry at night in pity for her loneliness, so unaware it's finally her day of peace. At night she prays for us, knowing we're caught up in the nest of time, and thanking God that she blind. Interesting. Never would have thought about being blind exactly like that. But those are the words of a poet. Now, we've been reading from Norma Marceret's book, another former student at Kent State, and she's writing about her life, not only in Kent, but in Northeast Ohio in general, because she starts off talking about her life in Canton, Ohio, where she grew up. But at this point, we're at the beginning of chapter 2, and she is entitled Chapter 2, Culture Shock. Culture Shock. If any of y'all remember that Curtis Mayfield had a song out, and he called it Future Shock. Future Shock, Future Shock. Oh yeah, it was a rocking tune. Talking about that brother that's darker than blue. They kind of look like you. Future Shock. It's the Future Shock. Welcome to the future. Going away from home and returning to a place that you don't even recognize anymore. Future shock. Yep, that's a future shock. So let's see here. We're just going to tighten this up just a little bit here. Okay, get our slideshow nice and tight. All right, and we're ready to go. All right, so culture shock. Living in my college-approved off-campus rooming facility dissipated thoroughly the mystery-shrouded curiosity I had about colored family living. Now, mind you, this woman is black. She's not white. But the way she grew up was different than maybe a lot of her associates who were also black. And so she had this mystery. There was a mystery about colored family living. When Mom and I had canvassed for and delivered McBrady goods in the heavily populated colored sections of Canton, Massillon, and rural Altman to prevent the foreclosure of our home, I wondered about many things. I was just 13 years old. Mostly I was curious about the food and dietary patterns of these unfamiliar people. My olfactory nerves frequently twinged at the odors that came from boiling kettles and frying skillets, from half-hidden strange kitchens on waves of smoke and steam. Smells poured forth, saturating the already laden atmosphere, causing the excess redolence to cling to one's skin and clothing. None of Mom's beans, vegetable soup, fried potatoes and onions, applesauce, bread pudding, or my homemade bread ever smelled singly or collectively like the strange odors some homes emitted. That winter of 19 and 28, I was introduced to a new dimension of peculiar experiences in the Jones home. Mr. and Mrs. Jones were kind enough in a strange, restrained manner. They expressed to me a polite welcome the day I arrived. Yous be most welcome to our humble home, she writes. We wasn't expecting no one, cause we never know if they be going to have any us folks in the college. I could hardly interpret their words, and as wafts of those unpleasant smells assailed me, I stood there thinking I should not stay. I ought to run after the taxi and return to school to request another rooming place. However, this couple rather interested me, and I must not forget my good manners. Mrs. Jones, a small woman whose real calico-dressed figure was hidden by layers of cotton petticoats and long winter underwear, had a joyless smile. Mr. Jones was a tall, friendly gentleman of few words. He was wearing heavy navy blue corduroy trousers and a heavyweight plaid shirt. Flannel underwear peeked through the shirt cuffs and lay in folds on his ankles, half hidden by fleece-lined bedroom slippers. Mrs. Jones explained they were upright church-going Christians. They had a son and daughter whom I would meet later. She announced in a decisively expectant tone that I was most welcome to attend Sunday morning church services with them. They would return for evening services at their Baptist church, but it would be up to me whether to attend that second service or not. She invited me to eat Sunday dinner with them, free of charge. Mr. Jones nodded his head in agreement. Sure is good to make you welcome to our home. Just make yourself comfortable. Can't even say that one. I hate when people write like this. Mrs. Jones remarked as she showed me the little windowless alcove bedroom on the first floor, just off the chilly, plainly furnished front room. It contained a double bed and a mirrored dresser, a large nail on the wall, supported 4 or 5 coat hangers. After emptying my suitcase and storing it under the bed, it was plain that only 2 of the dresser drawers were needed for all of my belongings. I placed my textbooks on top of the dresser with my toiletries. I explained to Mrs. Jones that I would need much less kitchen cupboard space even after purchasing a supply of food in a day or 2. I was shown the iceless ice box on the rear porch where I could keep perishables such as milk, oleo, margarine, and eggs. As I undressed that night after pulling shut the Cretan curtained Cretan curtained. I don't know what kind of name that word that is. Draperies separating the bedroom alcove from the adjoining room. I discovered I was to share my bed with the landlady's 15-year-old daughter, Susie. Well, that's a fine howdy do. Susie had entered the dining room sometime during my orientation and had seated herself quietly, sullenly, and disinterestedly in front of the small gas heater. She did not appear pleased with my formal invasion of her home. Susie was a plump but shapeless, old-looking teenager who appeared to be terribly ashamed of something, perhaps her femininity. She had nothing to say all evening. I was glad to retire after a disappointingly queer day. I was sitting on the bed when Susie parted the draperies and said, "I hope you don't mind if I sleep next to the wall." An angry feeling began to envelop me, and I wondered how to react to this sudden intrusion of an unexpected bedmate. I had become so used to the single bed in the private homes where I cooked that even when I slept at home, I no longer shared a bed with my sister Ethel. I slept on the hide-a-bed Davenport in our front room. Your mother did not tell me that we were to share the same bed, I said to Susie. I have been sleeping alone since my freshman year in high school. I don't like for anyone to touch me, so I shall sleep as close to the edge as I can without falling out of bed. These defined bed perimeters indicated Susie and I would distance ourselves from each other as far as possible. The voluminous straw-filled mattress and a deep depression in the middle of the time-weakened bed springs caused each of us to roll toward the center of the bed. I awakened and recoiled every time Susie touched me or I touched her. I wanted to kick her and pinch her and fight a real bed fight, as Ethel and I had done a few times as young children. My restraint was not an act of kindness, but a loathing to touch her skin as though it were poison. My futile attempts to control the centrifugal force of colliding bodies ended with my sitting upright in a lumpy upholstered front room chair with my pillow around my shoulders and my winter coat covering my lap, knees, and feet. I awaited the dawn of my second day in Kent, Ohio. Well, why don't we just end right there? That looks like a nice place to end, right about there, as she ends her second day in Kent, Ohio. So much for her introduction to the neighborhood. As you can see, it's going to be a very interesting story because she goes into great detail describing everything that she was experiencing during her sojourn, her journey through college here in Kent, Ohio. And for me, one of the most interesting parts is how she related to the other black people that she encountered, as well as how she related to the white people that she encountered in school. So we'll pick up from there tomorrow. Meanwhile, uh, we're going to go ahead, clock out here, and give you one more reminder that we are in need of donations. It is the beginning of the month. This is the 7th day. So tomorrow we won't be doing this, but we are today. So if you can afford to make a donation, however small it might be, 5, 10, 15, 20, it's all even money. Go ahead and plop it right on down. You can do it through your credit card, your debit card. You could use a number of different pay systems. Don't use Bitcoin. Can't use that one. We're not up for the Bitcoin yet, but there are a number of ways that you can pay. You can do it right online. You can do it through Facebook. When you see my profile picture, there'll be coins up under it. Click it and hit that button. That'll be the ticket. Okay? There'll be a link that'll take you straight to where you can make a donation. If you're on YouTube, you can go ahead and click the link right below our description that will take you to our website where you can make a donation over there, or you can go direct to the donation page at the website. Either way, you will make our day when you make a donation. So please do so. Thank you very much. We'll be back tonight with more stories, more scary stories. So look for us here again tonight when we give you a real fright. No telling what story we're going to read tonight, but we'll make sure it's scary. Peace out. This is Doc Ock at noon and 9, clocking out.